In this video, we'll continue our discussion on classes by looking at how to set up standards. We'll start by discussing what standards are in GradeLink. Then, we'll look at how to create, edit, and delete standards. Once we've created a few standards, we'll talk about setting up and then populating standards groups. Finally, we'll wrap up the video by looking at how to assign standards groups to classes, as well as how to configure settings that control how standards interact with classes. While some schools might use a different name, standards in GradeLink refer to learning goals for each grade level, outlining what students are expected to know and be able to do. Let's get started. To begin setting up standards, we'll head to the Classes tab. Before we can assign standards to a class, first we need to create standards and then put them into a group. To do so, we'll jump over to the Standards tab and click the gear icon next to the Standards Group menu. You'll see two buttons at the top of the page: Configure New Standards and Standards Groups. To create a new standard, hit Configure New Standards and then fill out the blank fields on the left. Standard ID is the name assigned to a specific standard. Grade level is where you'll specify the grade level that the standard is intended for. Subject, category, and subcategory organize the standard into the appropriate academic subject. Finally, standard text is the actual text of the standard. Once you've finished filling in the fields, hit Add at the bottom of the page. Your new standard should appear on the right. If you need to edit a standard, select it from the list and then make your changes. Don't forget to hit Save. If you would like to delete a standard, select it from the list and then hit Delete at the bottom of the page. Once we're done adding standards, we'll jump back over to the Standards Group page. Before they can be assigned to classes, standards need to be collected into groups. To create a new standards group, hit Add New at the top of the page. Then, enter a name for your group and hit Save. Your group should appear on the list below, and the interface will change. To add standards to a group, just select the standards you need from the list on the right, and then hit Add. If you need to remove standards from a group, select them from the list on the left and hit Remove. Once you're done, return to the Classes tab to assign your standards group to a class. To do so, make sure you're on the Standards page, and then select your group from the drop-down menu. Administrators should note that a class can only have one group of standards assigned to it at any given time. Once a class has standards assigned to it, assignments created for the class can contribute to meeting specific standards. Additional fields on the Standards page control how standards interact with the class. For example, the first field determines how many assignments a student needs to complete for a particular standard to be considered met. The field below it determines what average percentage is required on those assignments. The third field determines what percentage of the class needs to meet the assignment average in order for the standard to be considered met for the class. The Standard Grade Scale menu lets schools select a grade scale for standards separate from the overall class grade scale. For example, schools may grade assignments using the A through F scale, but want their standards to display grades using a 4-3-2-1 scale. Below, you can determine whether the percentage average is based on all assignments associated with the standard or only an arbitrary amount of the most recent. Finally, the checkbox at the bottom of the page determines if data related to standards will be included on report cards. When you're done, don't forget to hit Save at the bottom of the page to complete the process. There are a few additional options for controlling the behavior of standards, but we'll go over them in our video on GradeLink settings. This wraps up the second part of our discussion on classes. Join us for our next video where we finally look at creating classes.